Hey, I'm with David Kidder, the founder and CEO of Clickable, and we're here at the Always On Venture Summit East conference. And hi, David.
Hi, baby. How are you?
Good. You were on that panel. Is there upside to the internet? What was the takeaway from that panel?
You better be disciplined while you're building your business right now in this marketplace. Over-raise capital, hunker down, build a company that lasts, and get the right investors at the table who probably saw much of the 90s.
So there was no concern about valuations, and especially with the public markets tanking. Was that a part of the conversation?
Yeah, I see valuations are coming down a bit, but as Katerina Fake has always said, if you're building an all-satellite, no planet, you're going to be much more susceptible to valuation shrinkage, so to speak, than if you're building something that really has a real business, real quality. So, for us, at least in our perspective, the valuation issue is always in the kind of the forefront of discussions. But these investors at this marketplace have already seen the 90s, they've already been there. It's not like they're worried that the internet's going to be going away.
Right.
It's sort of about your role in creating value that will support it.
What are you creating value? I mean, tell us a little bit about your company and with regards to the big guys, Google and Yahoo and all the other companies that are already, leaders in advertising. You're doing sort of web advertising services. So how are you disrupting their business?
Well, we're certainly not a disruptor.
Or enabling,
Google disruptor.
helping them.
We really are a partner with all of the ad networks to bring simplicity to online advertisers' experience in managing spends in Google and Yahoo and Microsoft. To do well in this business, to go in and both qualitatively as well as quantitatively have success in online advertising, you kind of have to have, as I like to say, a beautiful mind of statistics. You have to be able to see into the math and the creative process, and we assist in doing that. So Clickable is a web service that makes online advertising easy.
And so doesn't Right Media have some service where you can actually plug in a number of different ad networks so you can manage them as well? So how is yours different from that service within Right Media as well as like Rubicon Project?
Both Rubicon Project and Right Media are on the publisher side. So, Rubicon is on the publisher side. It's one of my favorite companies in the country right now. And Right Media helps advertisers with display advertising. So, where we are, and they're also dealing with kind of the enterprise side of the marketplace. So we're dealing with the SMB spenders. So people spending more than $2,500 a month, up to say $50,000. That's kind of where our business ends, and the enterprise marketplace begins. And then also we're focused more on the search, advertiser experience in search, and we'll start to expand display and audio and video over the next calendar year, as well as social media. So in that regards, we're on different side of the market, advertiser versus publisher, and we're dealing in a different type of spender, 5 to 50 versus 50 to 500,000. A lot of those guys are much more aligned with the enterprise side.
So is that the pain point, that those companies aren't being served?
I think the pain point really is for the SMB marketplace is the complexity of doing this well. So if you're managing multiple campaigns across multiple networks, it just takes a lot of time. I mean, you have dealing with the creative process, you're dealing with the best practices process, the quantitative analysis of that. And so, the collating and analyzing and acting on data is a very inefficient process. Yet, your returns in the market are often perishable, so you need to act on them very quickly. And we assist in doing that. When you sign up for Clickable and, in 2 minutes or less, you're up and running. We answer those two questions that you ask when you wake up in the morning, which is, how am I doing and what do I need to do to improve my campaign? We tell you that with Apple-like simplicity.
How are you doing? Give us some metrics that show some success for you. What are you looking at, and how is that accelerating?
Without disclosing anything that we haven't been talking about, I'll tell you a couple of little things. One is we kind of measure our success on how simple we are to users, the actual testimonials of the product, and what we hear is that there's no place easier to go to be able to manage online advertising than Clickable, which is great. But over in our beta program, we had about 60 companies using it. We had over 3,000 who signed up to participate in the product when we released it. So we've did a limited commercial release probably about 6-8 weeks ago, and we have more than 500 customers using it in short order. So we're adding dozens every week, and it's really exciting.
And the average price that they're paying?
Our pricing is a percentage of spend, between 3 and 5%. And if you're below, say, a couple $1,000s a month, It's kind of AOL like set it and forget it pricing, like of $29.99 a month. And
3 to 5% of the spend, and
Yeah.
what's the average spend?
Our average spend is between $5,000 and $25,000. It's a small S of the SMB.
Year, month?
Monthly, excuse me.
5 to 25,000.
Yep,
Okay.
typically, but it's creeping up. I mean, we're getting into people who are spending, more than 100, but we
Okay.
also have people who are trending up, in the 30s, 40s, 50s. We're quite disciplined in two areas. One is we really want to serve the needs of the SMB marketplace. We will not go into the enterprise space. Secondly is bringing simplicity means that your product development experience has to be extremely disciplined and refined. It's much more difficult to create something that's simple than it is hard. So we, in our kind of our DNA, make sure that our product does not suffer from featureitis. And so that's a very, very principled development philosophy.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, David.
Yeah, thank you. See you on